Get your muslin for bodice and hold your bias line and align it on the center front line of your dress form. Okay, so this is our bias line. I place it in the center front, and as much as this aligns on my center front, I'm going to decide on the width or the drop of the cowl, how much I want the curve to be placed on the neckline. So maybe this much, or if you want more, we can go wider, and then, which I think is kind of nice. Gonna place it. I will go ahead and pin my shoulder points, and this is how much scoop I want for my top. So we decided on so we placed our center front on bias. So next thing, we have to make sure it sits right around the body, and then we're gonna go ahead and do the armhole and the back. The first step was placing the center front with the bias line. Number 2, decide how wide and how deep you want your cowl. Number 3, you place your shoulders and pin them. You just smooth, kind of align this with your center front with the bias line, and without pulling it, naturally pin on the waistline. Let's go ahead and do that. So I pin the center front on my bias. The next thing I'll do, again, without pulling, just gonna place and find my side seam underarm. Just naturally, just go smooth without pulling. Side seam underarm. Same goes for the other side. Again, I just let it to fall naturally and then smooth it out on the side. Just the next step, I have to release the tension that doesn't lay flat around the waist. I cut from the bottom toward the waist. Again, whenever I cut to clean out the tension and the lines, I don't passing my lines. At least you give them a 1-inch room to not make mistakes. I'm gonna cut a little bit and try to another cut and move forward. Another little nip here, and then move forward till the side lays flat. Okay, now I want to show you here. Do you see how naturally start to shape around the waist? As soon as I get to my side, and if I see everything lays smoothly and nice, I just put a pin right here and maybe another one in here. And I will cut the extra pieces like here, make it clean so it doesn't hang and bothers me. I don't cut too close to my side seam, I just give it extra room. It's turned to this side. I start to lay flat around the waist and little tiny cut so it sits nicely around the waist. as we see it in this side, kind of smooth this out. Maybe this one needs to be a little bit of adjustment. It's okay, you can adjust it always. So go ahead and adjust it, as long as there is no extra too much bulk or in here. And this one lays flat and smooth. So go ahead and place another in here and one in here. So I pin it. Let's take a look and see how it looks. It's about right. So I will cut an excess pieces. Yes, it looks kind of clean and nice. I like it. Go ahead and give a little bit of opening, not too much. We are not cleaning around the armhole yet. I'll do that after I place the back, but just a little bit of opening to see if there is another access in here or not. It's about right, that much. Not too close to the armhole line. Okay, we draped the front piece now. Now it's time to do the back. Before I do the back, I'm gonna go ahead and mark my front piece and front lines and everything first, and then the back from the center front, which already I do have my bias line. And I'm gonna go with the side seam. You don't want to pull anything, just gonna keep it as how it flats on this, how it drapes on the bodice right now, on the body right now. And then start marking the waistline a little bit. To this, on the side seam and the waistline, make a little L shape or T shape. T shape always helps. Same thing goes for here. Little T shape. And do not forget to mark your bust line. That always helps too. And I mostly do mark my apex. So when you do it, don't pull it, just naturally where it stands, and do a little cross, okay, or X. And this side, again, see, I can see a little bit of bulk here, so I just take a pin out, lay it flat, repin. This part is good. Just gonna do on the side lines, the little T on the bust line. Maybe continue the bust line a little bit, not too much. I need my apex. It's right here. Just gonna do, okay. And now time to do waistline on the side. Another T. And moving toward the center front on the waistline. a big T on the waistline and the center front line. So what do we have left? Shoulder line. We bring it down. And we mark it. Closer to you. A bit more down so you can see better. Okay. Shoulder point and the width of the shoulder length, which is this one is about, this is about 3 centimeters and about an inch. Let's say an inch. 1 inch is good. And now I can start marking little lines around my armhole. Okay, just mark my armhole, and now this side, and then 1 inch is about here, which is properly right on the other side too, and then start doing this armhole line. I'm not drawing all the way, just making a little reference, little tiny dots, because I'm gonna clean that later with my ruler, because I just taped it, but it doesn't mean that it's perfectly round and, you know, good line. Okay, so we do have our shoulder points and armhole line. Another thing that I want you to mark is where the cowl. I want to take this part out, and this is a breaking point. Let me bring it down a little bit. I can already see where it was. The breaking point was here. So from here, I'm gonna mark it here. That was a breaking point. I'm gonna mark it here. Not gonna cut it, just gonna mark it, because I'm gonna decide later if I wanted to keep it in. So now we're gonna do our back piece.